Hey guys, back again with another review, and this time it's of Dead Calm from 1989, starring Nicole Kidman, Sam Neill, Billy Zane, Rod Milliner, Joshua Tilden, but none of them really matter because it's only really three people anyway. So at the beginning we find out that Ray Ingram and John Ingram have lost their child. Ray was driving and there was a terrible crash and a child died, and her and John are really struggling with it. So they go on a sailing trip and they look like they're doing all right. They're hugging, they're being very close, and I think that's exactly what they needed. But as things go along, they witness a sinking schooner across the water and a man frantically, on a lifeboat to get to their boat. So they let him aboard, they take him in. This character is Huey, played by Billy Zane. He ends up saying he's really ill and not feeling well. So what happens is John takes him downstairs and locks him in the cabin. So he decides, and I thought this was one of the most silliest things of this movie. John decides he wants to get on a lifeboat and he wants to go and look at the sinking schooner. Well, he starts rowing the boat like do 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 do, like we are sailing. After a while, the dog starts barking. Yes, their dog, who at the beginning you see Ray, that's R-A-E, she throws a ball out of the water, so the dog jumps and gets it. But there's a big payoff for that later in the film, which is actually quite fun, which I'll mention in a minute. So John gets to the boat and he finds out that there's more going on there than what they were told. So as Huey wakes up, he decides he's going to try and escape. So he tries to escape, and eventually, as John is trying to get back, he stops Ray from getting to him, and he knocks her out, and he drives way past him, and John ends up stuck on the schooner, but sinking, with only a certain amount of time to get either working or to get back to Ray. So the movie is very, very thrilling. It gets you on the edge of your seat thinking, is John going to survive? Is John going to get out of that schooner in time? Is Ray going to be okay? What's Huey going to do to her? Because Billy Zane plays a fantastic psychopath. He does it so well, it looks like it comes naturally. He'll go from 1 minute being really, really psychotic to being really, really nice. One scene that comes to mind is the sex scene between him and Ray. It's very cold, but he feels like he's really enjoying it, and she kind of acts like she's enjoying it a bit. But the whole thing is debatable whether or not she was. Me myself, I don't think she was. I think it's one of those, I've got to get through this. I've got to get to my husband. I can't handle this, and I need to do what a woman can do, and that's trick a man, basically. Because that's what I think a lot of women would do if they want to get their husband to safety, and their husbands to get time to get there. One of the other parts of the film I really liked was the fact there's this bit where Ray gets the keys to the boat. She throws them overboard. But because she used to throw the ball overboard, the dog jumps off and goes and gets it and then brings it back. I thought that was hysterical. Sam Neill, who plays John Ingram, is fantastic in the role. When he's on that schooner, you feel like he knows what he's doing. You feel like he's really, really a sailor, and he's trying to get that boat to work. And while he's trying to get that boat to work, a video is playing on the screen of Huey and the people on the boat, and it's really interesting because it makes the whole film a lot more, thrilling, scary, and intense. Because you're like, what's going to happen in the end? Is John actually going to be able to get to him? Is John going to be able to save his wife? Is his wife going to be able to save John? Because they're both in a position where they're both in severe danger. Now, a couple of the things I didn't like about the movie was I didn't like that John left her with him. It was like, why would you leave your wife with a complete stranger on your boat? Another thing was, there's so many times where Ray could have stopped Huey, like she could have just killed him, but she didn't ever take those chances. And when she did finally get around to that time, he would stop her because she wasn't quick enough. So that kind of got my nerves. Nicole Kidman's character, Ray Ingram, barely talks. She talks, but she hasn't got a lot of words. And I think that makes her character a lot more stronger because you see the agony there from when she lost her child. You see that she loves her husband, but at the same time, she's very distant, but very loving with him. And that the whole ordeal with Huey is kind of like really hurting her. But being a strong woman, she's not going to let it do that. So the ending, I thought the ending was actually quite funny. I'm not going to ruin it, obviously, but the ending was quite funny because let's just say it involves a flare, and it's really, really funny. So overall, I highly recommend giving this film a watch. It's fantastic. It's got 3 fantastic actors in it, brilliantly well directed. The soundtrack is awesome. It keeps you on your toes, thinking what's going to happen next. The soundtrack really helps the film progress, and the whole Lost at Sea aspect really, really brings it out and really makes you think, wow, there's only like a very claustrophobic space. As always, guys, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe and take care. See you later, guys.